You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Oh, Maximus. Whoa, hey guys. Welcome to Forging Maximus into beast mode. What makes him beast mode? Probably the tires. No, not really. How about the transaxle? That's all put together and ready to go. It's on an angle, you see. Yeah, it's on a big angle. Check it out. The only way I could run this thing is what made this happen was the Cub Cadet lowboy and the CV joint. Why is it on an angle, you say? Ow. When you're out in the mud hole running over stumps and you find stuff that's in a mud hole, this guy was hanging so low, because in all Cub Cadets they hang down this far. They're like straight all the way down. And you hit a stump, you get stuck in the mud. This is always the one that's stuck in the mud. I despise that because I get my ass kicked all the time. Well, Maximus is going to have a little bit different story. It's going to be angled up well over 6 degrees. It's going to have a big motor in there, and oh, here's one for you. So 2 nights ago, woke up in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning, and the reason was for this. This is the low boy shifter that shifts the high range to low range. Well, what I found out was this is the old hydrostrap lever, and it comes way down and it comes out in the right spot. And look at that. That's high range, neutral, low range. How cool is that? There's a big CV in there. This son of a gun is going to rip, boys, with the 35 horse 993 cc motor in this. Yeah, I'm looking for 20-foot roost out of this tractor. I'm so pumped over this. Getting this transaxle finally installed where I can finally start moving stuff around. So very important. So very important. Quick update, mind you. There's more to come. There's a lot more stuff that needs to be done to get this tractor rolling by January. Stay tuned. Hot rod tips for the Cub Cadet shifter coming up. These are the shifter arms in the Cub Cadet. This is the ball detent locations. And ball detent, you say? Yeah, ball detent is this guy right here with the cheesy spring. I've tried in Kaiser the stronger spring, which I have laying around in hordes of. I didn't have to order them. You can get them. Other people have those for sale. What I've done is I've tried the ball detent with the stronger spring. It still popped out of gear. And Pops told me one day, he said that the big transmissions use plungers. Well, okay, I'll use a plunger and get rid of the ball. Well, the minute I put those in Kaiser, my popping out of gear issue is gone, disappeared. When you go to tweak the transmission as far as these shift ears go, they need to be a little bit bigger, the gap is, than this ball. And this ball is about 475, 480, depending on what side you want to measure it on. This shaft is the 487, 490. This is a 1/4 inch drive shaft, and this works out to be the right size. What I've done is I've installed the ball detents in here. That's easier to put in than the plungers. Lined everything up. I've installed this several times in order to make sure that it was lined up, that I could have my neutral go all the way across it and everything move nice and easily. Once that was established, I finally put in, this is the final measure for my width that it needs to be. And then I jacked in some welds, all 4 corners, right down in the nugs of everything. And what that does is that strengthens up all these ears to keep them from bending out, and it sets your depth so they don't spread anymore when you're shifting under duress, so to say. When you weld this, make sure your electrode, your ground electrode, is connected to this. If you run the electrode through this shaft, through the bearings, to get to this, you're going to roach out your bearings and you'll have a thump, 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 because the juice going through there will tear away that nice finish of the bearings. Always hook your ground up right next to the weld when you're messing with bearings. Make sure your welds are on the money too. Those little balls that are developed in here, you'll have to clean them out, and this is in the process of this will be cleaned out shortly after I'm done welding and doing the final tweaks to this. Final assembly in this bad boy. This Cub Cadet low boy creeper drive with the wet brake installed. Made a little mechanism to go in there for the plunger to drive in and down. There's the plunger. That's all glued in too. Final assembly going together. Hey guys, thanks for the well wishes for getting over this COVID stuff. It was terrible thing. But I've got Maximus back in the fab shop, and I'm getting back on the speed of what things are doing. And The latest results or findings that I found at the fuel cell factory one is no longer going to be available. The shifter hits it, knocks everything off. Watch this. So I shift it and I hit this fuel cell, and the damn thing falls off. So I'll be making my own fuel cell. It could be this week, it could be next week. I'm not entirely certain on this, but there's a few things that gotta be buttoned down in order for this to go. But hey, if you guys like this stuff, let me know in the comments what you want to see, what you don't want to see. I'd be more than happy to put it up there for you. Ask questions, because if you don't ask them, I don't know what you're thinking. So with that, Studebaker out.